You are welcome, Mr. President.
Yes. Then.
Mr. President, you are welcome. Can you?
Okay, you need the video.
Me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to warmly welcome you to this great and powerful edition of our regular interview section Inside the Arena, season 25. And today, Inside the Arena is a very distinguished engineer who has got his niche in the engineering profession, has served the profession in different capacity, and then has grown from a boy that was running errands for the orgas during conferences to now the man who calls the shots for the entire engineering profession in Nigeria. And talking about the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, a very distinguished engineer, Tasiu, Gidari-Wudil, the 33rd president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You are welcome inside the arena, Engineer Gidari-Wudil.
Thank you, Engineer Benjamin Ositadima Ikechukwu Oko, Fnse.
Thank you very much. And I remain your host, as Mr. President has rightly said, Engineer Ben O.C. Oko. Now, before we commence this program, let me quickly establish the ground rules. We have 3 segments or sections of this program. The first is what we call the direct free kick, where the host will direct all the questions to the guest. And then after that, we go to the corner kick segment, where the participants will also have opportunity to ask the guest questions. And of course, we go to the final segment, which is what we call the extra time, where we ask questions. We throw the question back to the participants, and the person to get the correct answer gets a very fantastic prize. And today we have a 33-inch television. I will mention the person that donated the television on behalf of the president. And then we will be giving the prize to the winner. Interestingly, before we go to the question segment, when we had the first edition of this program, the guest inside the arena was the then president of Korea, Engineer A.A. Rabiu. And the person that won the question, the gift, in fact, our first winner for this program is the man who is sitting on the hot seat today. He was the one who, I can remember vividly the question we asked, when we asked, in what year did Engineer Rabiu, in what year was he elected as vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and in which term? And Engineer Tasiu was the one who gave the correct answer, and he answered Owerri, and in the year 2009. Today, he's on the hot seat. I am also expecting that one of his friends and one of those who know him, who knows him very well, is going to be lucky today, maybe lucky today to win the prize for today's Inside the Arena. I want to welcome all the participants for today's program. And I want to say that Engineer Wudil would have been here a long time ago, but we had to shift it because we wanted him to serve out his tenure as the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, so that towards the end of his tenure, we can be able to ask him questions concerning his presidency of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Engineer Gidari-Wudil, you are welcome once again.
Thank you, Engineer Ben.
Quickly we go. Can you, in a nutshell, tell us who is Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil? Your birth, your brief about your academic qualification, your background, family background, and all the things we need to know about you. Leaving out that of the NSC and other, and your career, we're going to come to that.
Okay, thank you, my Engineer Ben. I was born in the year 1962 to the family of Malam Saad Gidari and Hajia Sodi in the town of Wudil at a place called Zango. Zango is the name of our quarters. And I grew up in that town. I've never left that town until when it was time to go to secondary school. So I did my primary education. Initially, I started my primary education, I think it was around 1968. But due to some traditional issues, I was removed from primary school, and I was just doing some Quranic school. Then in the year 1974, there is the primary school in Wudil Central Primary School. One of my friends was, we were playing, and he wanted to go he was passing by on errand from his mother to go to the house of the headmaster. So I saw him. He said, where are you going? He said he was going to the headmaster's house. I said, oh, that headmaster that used to beat people. He said, no, that is not the headmaster. This one is my uncle. He said, but that headmaster is not from this town. How can he be your uncle? He said, no, he's a new one. So I followed him to his uncle's place, who was the headmaster. As we went there, the headmaster, it was on Sunday. The headmaster was in his garden, reading his newspaper. Gaskiya Tafi Kobo. So he saw us, he greeted us. He knows me, he knows my father. So my father was his tailor. So we entered the house, finished what we were doing, we came out. So as we were coming out, the headmaster called me. He said, Tasiu, come. He said, do you want to go back to school? I said, yes. He said, okay, no problem, go. So in the evening, my father came and told my grandfather that, look, this boy wants to go back to school. My grandfather said, oh, let him go. Since he wants to go to school, let him go. So I came back to primary school in 1974. That time, my mates that I left, they were already in class 5. I was in class 1. So 1974, class 1. 1975, I was in class 3. I didn't do class 2. 1976, I was in class 5. So I didn't do class 4. So, and that class, in my class 6, they said I should do common entrance. And I said, no, I'll not write common entrance because I don't know how to speak English. I want to learn English before I go to secondary school, so that when I go, they will not be speaking to me. I don't know what they're saying. So I stayed there until 1978 when I wrote my common entrance. Surprisingly, I was taking first position, but all my schoolmates got their admission into secondary school, and I didn't get admission into secondary school. So every day I was crying. Then the day my admission came out, it was the technical school Wudil. And the headmaster called us, about 7 of us. The headmaster called us that this is the best school he wanted us to go. He knows us that we are industrious. So I went. And that secondary school was like a military school. They deal with juniors, and discipline was too much. So that is what scares people from going to that school. So, but it was a technical school. I went there from 1 and 2, 78, 80. Then I wrote exam to go to the science secondary school, and I was admitted into the science secondary school, Doakinkudu. That was the first time I left Wudil to science Doakinkudu. I spent 3 years in science Doakinkudu, where I studied only the sciences. I finished my secondary school luckily with 8 credits in the sciences. And surprisingly, we were not good in English in that school, but we were good in the sciences. So, but I made a vow that I must get a credit in English. So I was doing extra lessons with 2 teachers in English. And I got a cue from what one of my physics teachers said. He said, if you can solve all the questions in the last 10 years of WAEC, you are going to get credit. So I picked all the last 10 questions in WAEC English, and I attempted all of them, and my teachers were marking my comprehension, summary, and the OBJ. So I was lucky, I got A3. That was the first time somebody got A3 in that school. No, second time, because there was another person who got A2 before me. So we were able to get through. Then I had no plan for secondary school, university, because I felt I don't have the financial muscles to go to university. But luckily, my principal at that time, Malam form to study. My wife came out, the result came out, there was no, they had already finished their admission and students were in school. So I had to go to Bayero University, Kano, where I was given admission to read mechanical engineering without filling a form. Just when the registrar of the university saw my result, he said, oh, no, we have to give this guy admission. They gave me admission. Unfortunately, when I went to do registration at the faculty, the dean told me that it was too late for me. They have gone so far, so I should go. So I went to the College of Advanced Studies in Kano. I started preliminary studies there for 1 year. And I felt I don't think, because I did not like going to ABU, because the syllabus for those schools, IJMB, was tailored towards ABU. So wherever you are, if you write that exam, you go to ABU. But for me, I felt I don't want to go to ABU. That's why everybody wants to go. So, but it's not that I don't like ABU, but it's just I don't want anything that everybody is going there and it's a class thing. So I decided to go to ATBU. So I went to ATBU in 1985. I graduated in 1991. Was a 3rd class in electrical electronics engineering. Then I came back to Kano State and continued with my life. That is how my education was. But I later went back. Later I went back to ATBU to do my master's. And after my master's, I got admission to do my PhD.
Interesting. Now, let's take it. You mentioned initially that you were given admission to study mechanical.
Yes.
How did you now develop interest outside mechanical to electrical?
Yes, my interest was changed at CAS. In CAS, I had a physics teacher, Mr. Ramadan, who is, and I think is Egyptian. He loved me so much that I was his best student in physics. So he was of the opinion that I should go and read electrical. And he gave me reasons because of my physics. And when I chose to read mechanical, I was not guided. Nobody guided me. I just chose, I want to be mechanical engineer. And it is when I was doing my physics, my electricity, all that gave me interest into electronics and electrical and electronics. That's how my direction was changed. Not that I couldn't do mechanical. Yes.
In the university, you
yes.
were involved in students' unionism, and you ended up becoming the president of the students' union government. Can you share some insight into that?
Yes. When I was in the university, I was not intending to be part of the student union anyway. But with some incentives, accommodation was very difficult to get if you are not a fresher or a final year student, or you belong to the student union, or you are an expatriate student. So these are the ones that get accommodation. So I had a friend, an Indian, Pakistani, Rana Habib. He now advised me, look, go and pick chairmanship of a hall. You have sure accommodation, so you don't have to be looking for a place to squat. I said, that's true. So I joined the politics of the halls that time. That time, student union, okay, there was student union. I contested for the parliament. I was a parliament, and I was even student union parliament chairman of sales committee. So when Ango Must Go happened, student union was banned. So we resorted to halls. And in between then, after the banning of the student union, there was a period. Then they lifted the ban. And we tried to resuscitate the student union in the university. But we couldn't. So I went on industrial attachment. And when you come back, you're in final year. So I came back in final year. I came back. Okay, student union is not resuscitated, but you have hall management. So I contested for hall management, hall 1 management. And while we were in the halls, then the lifting on the ban on student union came. Then I was elected as the president of the student union in my final year, which was against some regulations, but I don't know how. I was made there, and I was battling with my final year. I was battling with the student union, with internal wranglings, the student union politics. So we were really involved in student union, but at last we were able to reactivate the student union in the university. Up to today, the student union has never been disbanded. So they have been continuously.
We shall still come to your life as a unionist, because I know during your working career also in the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, you were also the president of the union. But let's take it back to where you started your working career. Can you share some insight about your working career, where you worked before you finally got to NEC, where you had your last?
Yes, I started work as a technical instructor at the Wudil Technical School. That's the place I started my education. I started my secondary school there. When I came back from service, well, let's start with service. I served in Anambra State, and I was looking forward to serving in a factory, but I could not get a placement. So I was posted to Sentoko in Nnewi. When I went to report, they told me that they don't have space for coppers. So I went back to Enugu, and I was advised by one of the workers that the best thing I can do is to go and teach in secondary school. And he said he has requests from a secondary school around that place. He sent me, I should go and teach. They needed physics teacher. I said, no problem, let me go and teach. So I picked teaching. I collected the posting letter again, and I needed to come home. So I came back home. I spent about 2 weeks, some days, and went back and reported, and fully back up to Christmas. So there, I developed interest in teaching, to the extent that I was teaching the physics, I was teaching mathematics, I was teaching biology, and I was teaching chemistry. These subjects I was teaching. I was teaching mathematics in JS2, I was teaching chemistry and physics in SS1, and I was teaching biology in SS3. It was a girls' school called Girls High School Upo. It was a community Upo. Nnewi South local government.
I know.
So I served there. I really enjoyed my service here. I stayed there. I just came home once, and after I finished service, I came home. I now felt, okay, let me go and teach. So I took up teaching appointment with the Science and Technical Schools Board. So they were so magnanimous to help me. They posted me to my town as an electrical installation instructor. So I went. I started teaching for almost 3 months. Then I started looking for a job with the state civil service to practice engineering proper. So I got job with this Ministry of Education Works Department as electrical engineer 2. No, electrical engineer 1, because I went to the Civil Service Commission, did an interview. I was lucky. I was interviewed with somebody who had OND, and then he had a degree. So based on his experience, he was put on level 9. That time, government came up with the policy that all engineers should be put on level 9, not level 8. So we were put on level 9, and we were not given step 1, we were given step 2 because of our experience of teaching of 3 months. So I came back to the headquarters of the Ministry of Education. I served there for 3 good years. While I was about to get my promotion, I got a job with the Bayero University Computer Center as a computer maintenance engineer. So there I served for another 3 months. Then I got a job with NEPA as electrical engineer 1, officer 1. So I mobilized to the training school in Kainji, where we were trained for 3 months in-house, and we were sent to go on field work, field attachment to Gombe. Then Gombe posted me to Jos. I sat there as a pupil engineer on my training for the rest of the year. Then after 1 year, we were asked to go back to training school again. We went and trained for another 1.5 months. Then I was posted to Jeba Hydropower Plant, where I served for another 9 to 10 months. Then after my training in that place, I was permanently posted to Jos due to the request by the acting principal manager at that time, Engineer Yenda Olabisi Ajiboye, who requested me to come back and work together with him. And that's where I worked for why the opportunity that I should go.
I think the network is off. Let's.
Sorry, I think there was a break in transmission.
Yes, you can continue, sir.
Yes. So when I came to Bauchi, I just enrolled for my masters and got my masters in 2005. And I started well, we have not come to NSC activity. So when I finished masters in 2005, I couldn't go to Warri in 2005. I did not attend Warri. And there. So I grew up from manager networks to the deputy general manager when I retired voluntarily.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. And quickly, for those who are just joining us, this is the 25th edition of Inside the Arena. And we have inside the arena today the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Tasiu Gidari-Wudil, who incidentally was the first winner of our extra time segment in the first edition of the Inside the Arena. And today he's appearing as the guest in the 25th edition of Inside the Arena. Once again, Mr. President, you are welcome. Now, talking about your working career, one of the areas we want to, take you on is your during your days in the National Electricity Regulatory Commission. Everybody in Nigeria talks about power. Now, one of the major challenges we are facing in the country today is the issue of power. Government has invested some amount of money towards solving power problem in Nigeria, yet we've not seen corresponding output compared to the huge investment that we put into power. And every government that comes on board, we always promise us to restore power, to do this on power. And companies are folding. I remember that we used to have shops we call games in the ShopRite. Just recently they folded. Even ShopRite itself sold their franchise to a Nigerian owner now because of issue of power, running diesel every day for business. You have also experienced that as the president of Fnse, running the secretariat of Fnse on diesel because of non-availability of power. As a regulator in the power industry, can you share some insight if you are given the opportunity to become the Minister of Power of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? What other thing are you going to be bringing on board differently from what others have done?
Ben, I must tell you the truth, and I'm sure everybody is hearing me. So many people are hearing me. I don't pray to be Minister of Power. I don't pray. Honestly, because I
said
know
assuming
the enormity of the problem. You see, governments are not serious with power. It's a fact. Governments are not serious. I repeat it. Governments, past and present, they are not serious about power. When the best set of regulators, the best set of commissioners we had in NEC was the first set of commissioners, followed by the second set. Yes, the second set has done also well to some extent, but most of the time, government put people without the experience of the sector to lead the sector. Commissioners are supposed to be experienced. If you look at the power sector, the act, it says clearly the president should appoint people with experience and competence. How can you go and bring a young man who has just come just because he did his PhD and wrote so many things about Nigerian power sector? They are theory, for goodness sake. They are theory. I can sit down and do table research work for you and give you a paper that will tell you how to solve Nigeria's problem without knowing what is Nigerian power sector is all about. You bring someone who calls himself an engineer. He doesn't even know what is a relay. He doesn't even know how the power flows. He doesn't even know how the sector works. He doesn't even know how the money is collected. He doesn't even know what are the competencies needed to do some things. And all he comes, he will look at the people working there. He will say they don't know anything, or they are stupid, or they are a cake, whatever. They have so many names for the staff of both the utility and even the commission. Let me tell you one thing. When we first came to the commission, the first set of commissioners organized training for 1 year for all the staff continuously in the office. There was a timetable for every one of us to go for training every month within the office. And the trainer was paid by World Bank. The trainer will come to your table If you say your commissioner gave you work to do, he will go and tell the commissioner, this guy is going for his training now. And we go. They did not, they were not, they never play with training. They trained us. Then they trained us outside the country. They were sending us to training schools to do courses in regulation. And these same people today, I am telling you, we don't have up to 10 of them in the commission. They are gone. So now, and nobody's go. They don't. Now, you look at the other places, you start creating agencies in the sector for nothing, just because of interest. So one, the government is not ready in the appointment of the personnel to run the power sector. Today, most of the utilities, they brought bankers. They brought bankers because they think it is a business thing. Fine. Business, it is a technical business. Utility is a technical business. Whether you like it or not, you can't do without engineers. No utility can do without engineers. Either water, electricity, or sewage, or anything, or gas. You can't do without the engineers. Now, you are telling me engineers don't know how to manage. We don't know how to manage. Who knows how to manage? How can you manage something you don't know how it works? Just because some people are gifted, they have done some management work in managing some engineering outfits. They have done well. That does not mean engineers do not know how to manage. We're the ones who know how to manage. Most of the principles of management are taken from engineering. Most of them. So who is the master of optimization? If someone is telling us...
What you are saying, Mr. President, is if we are expecting to get this issue of power resolved in the nearest future, that it will be simply what I will call an illusion of hope.
It is, because they are not ready to put the right people at the right place. Unless and until when they put the right people at the right place. Let them stop playing politics with power. They should put the right people. But when you decide to bring your political allies, is food for the boys, fine. Let's continue.
Food for the boys. Okay, we leave it there. Let me now take you to your constituency. Now, share some insight. You were elected chairman of Bauchi branch in 2006. I know there is somebody that has joined us here. I think I saw him, who you always argue with, who is senior and who is junior. Because two of you were elected the same day in 2006.
I am his chairman. Senior. He has never argued that he's my junior.
But what I heard is that one branch is a metropolitan branch, and one branch is
that's the only thing he's telling me, that I come from a rural branch, but we have the same one vote in council.
Okay. Now, when did you join the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and how did you join the NSE before you became the chairman of Bauchi branch?
I joined the Nigerian Society of Engineers in 2000. I did my interview in September 1999. And that time, the people who signed my form were not up to date. So my result was held. That's why some people will tell you that they are my seniors, because they were lucky their sponsors' proposals were not owing. So my result was held, and I had to do some things before my result was released, because I had to change my form with people who are up to date, and resubmitted, and my result of my interview was used with the new form, and I got my membership. And those guys, because I couldn't find them, I didn't know even where they were. They have left Kano. They were in Nepal at that time, and they were transferred out, and I didn't know where to go and get them. So that was the solution. How I was delayed until 2000. So I got my membership of NSE in 2000. I started attending my first NSE conference was 2000, Abuja 2000. And I was posted from Jos. I was admitted in Jos as Jos branch, and I received my letter of NSE admission while I was in Bauchi branch. So immediately I went to Bauchi branch. I was elected the publicity secretary of Bauchi branch, and that's where I became prominent with the people of Bauchi, and I continued to grow from PRO to secretary, from secretary to vice chairman, from vice chairman to chairman.
Now, after your chairmanship, we are involved in a lot of activities in the NSC. You served in the council of the NSC for many years, and also as a co-opted member. And you were involved in the conference planning committee for also several years as a member of the conference planning committee. Can you also share some insight in other activities or involvement, or your other activities or involvement in the society before now?
Yes, right from the time I moved to Bauchi, there were challenges in Bauchi, definitely. And what we did was we came in and offered ourselves. So the challenge was that going to attend council meeting in Lagos was very difficult for the chairman, because they were well-placed people. At that time, when I went to Bauchi, the chairman was Professor Jatau, who was Dr. Jatau that time, J.S. Jatau, and he had no time. He's not young, so he couldn't go to Lagos by road. Then who took over from him? Professor Dr. Engineer Enwunwo took over from him. Then after him, we brought Dr. Shaibu, who is now Professor Shaibu. Then from Professor Shaibu came Engineer Stephen Abubakar. Engineer Stephen Abubakar handed over to me. So I was representing Bauchi in the council during council meeting as the PRO, because I had the energy to travel by road from Bauchi to Lagos. So I was taking night bus and go to attend the council. After the council, I would take another night bus, come back to Bauchi on Monday. It used to be on Sunday meeting. So with that, I was in council for long. Throughout, from the time I was PRO to the time I became vice chairman, I was attending council on behalf of the chairman. So everybody, anytime I come to council, people call me chairman, because they didn't know that I was not the chairman, I was representing the chairman. So until when I became chairman, unfortunately for me, I became chairman in 2007 when I got job with NEC. So 6 months into my chairmanship, I got job with NEC. So I had to move to Abuja and within that remaining 6 months, I was running the branch from Abuja. When I go down, then we had the election. I handed over to Engineer Mahmoud. So from there, what made me, I was really outspoken in council, very active. I was taking active part in the discussions in council. I pay attention. I was listening and contributing. So that endeared me to the presidents, to the ESCO members. In fact, we had a clique in council. Myself, Engineer Professor Akamu, Engineer Adebayo from Oshogbo, and the troublesome old man, the person I call troublesome old man, Engineer Zedomi. He was leading us in rebellion in the council, and we were his foot soldiers, and we were all working together. So, in fact, at a stage, the leaders pulled Akamu to become ESCO member, so he cannot talk. So we were like, we were making the council vibrant. We were not rude, but we were paying attention to details in the council memos and in guiding the council. And we were seen as people disturbing the president, like Engineer Shomolu and Bulama and Eze and all this. Unfortunately, people were seeing it as troublesome, but fortunately for us, the presidents didn't see it that way. They had confidence in us. They felt we were doing, we were guiding them, and we were calling attention to issues, and they never take it personal with us. And we were very good friends. I was one of the best boys of Engineer Eze. We were the ones doing his dirty work as president. Anything, they, oh, you go and do this, then we will do it because we believed in him. Myself and Akamu. When I handed over the chairmanship of Bauchi branch, I came back. I was in Abuja. So for me, I was just going to council, attending council. Nobody says Wudil go out. So when Engineer Ajibola came, he made me co-opted council member. 2 years, I was serving as co-opted council member. I was attending council. Then when Engineer Mbishewu came, he continued with me for another 2 years. So I served as co-opted member for 4 years in the council. In fact, my knowledge of NSE made me not aspire to be NSE president, because I have seen so many things that the president, if I was president, I cannot take it, that were happening to president. One of the worst things I found was when Engineer Ajibola was president, we wanted to introduce e-voting. I was a member of the election committee, and 2 members of the election committee stood against it. Professors that time, they stood against it. And the president was frantically asking them, please, allow this thing to go. Let's do it. Let's try it. We are a professional body. We are at the center of technology. Let's do this. But they said no. They were the opinion that the system would be gamed. They refused to allow it. So until in Ilorin, when we staged a rebellion against them, after it has been agreed that we are going to do e-voting, supported by MagicomSat, live coverage of the program in NTA, and live coverage of the results online. They were still insisting we'll do election with manual and electronic. And everybody who voted carried his paper and left. He didn't drop, but take the electronic voting. the electronic votes, check them. So that is what happened.
All right, let me come in here. Some have described you as the Abraham Lincoln of the NSC politics. We know the history of Abraham Lincoln, how many times he attempted to run for Congress, run for different positions in the American system. And he failed. I think he lost 9 times. But one day, the same man who had lost so many elections went for the highest slot in the land, and that is the presidency of America. And he got it and became president of America. The same way you were busy running an election to become an ESCO member of NSC, and you had your shot for several times, you couldn't win for ESCO. But come 2016, in the city of Uyo, you decided this time to go for the higher, to go to the president. Talking about the presidency, for you to become president, you have to become vice president and deputy president. You now went for the presidency, and you won the election in Uyo in 2016, came back to Abuja 2017, you won, came back to Kaduna, which was held in Abuja also in 2018, you won, and these 3 times, you were first in the elections for 3 consecutive years as vice president, and in 2019, in your own city, the beautiful city and ancient city of Kano, in 2019, you were elected deputy president. What inspired you in 2016 to drop the junior cadre, what I call the junior cadre of ESCO member, which you lost on several attempts, to go for the presidential cadre, that is the vice president? And immediately you tried that, you won and remained consistent in winning till you became the president of NSC. What was the inspiration or motivation behind that?
Well, Ben, let me correct you on that. Honestly, I cannot be the Abraham Lincoln of NSE. The Abraham Lincoln of NSE is his royalty engineer Otis Anyeji.
I know that one.
FNSE FANG. Yes, he's the one who contested, who attempted 7 times.
No, what I mean is this.
Let me tell you, I attempted only once. I attempted National ESCO member only once in 2015. And I lost that election with a small margin. And I'm happy I lost. Because after the election, and after the dinner, because the election was done, then the dinner was done in the same location. So after dinner, I came out to do something and I wanted to go back into the hall. Then I met 4 past presidents of NSC. They were moving in a group. Engineer Pa Oyebolu, Engineer Dr. Ajayi, Engineer Ife Akintunde, and Engineer Ajibola. They were coming out. Then I was going back. I greeted them, and each one of them held my hand and said, "Do not stop, continue." I got that inspiration from them. Then the next day, on my way back to Abuja by road, I was in the bus. Engineer MB Shehu engaged me. For 1 hour, we were talking. He was encouraging me that you should go to Uyo to contest for vice president, since Baba Gana has finished his time. That time, it was 3 vice presidents. And those of us from the north, we always try to take only 1. Unless we see chance, we take 2. But we were contented with 1. And that is why when one is contesting, we withdraw for him to qualify. So since Baba Gana will not contest again, so it was time for other people to contest. So I should be one of them. So we spoke at length. We talked about strategy. We talked about so many things. And I said, okay. Then I had a team from Metama branch. My people from Metama branch advised me that, look, we will go for the vice president next time. And this is how we're going to do it. So we strategize. I'm not going to say the strategy here because some people will use those strategies and it may not be good for the system. So we strategized and we moved on. So we started the contacting people from all over the country and trying to see. Then in one of my visits to an elder, the elder looked straight into my eyes. He asked me, what are you here for? I said, I'm here to see you because I'm going to contest for the presidency, vice presidency of NSC at Uyo. He looked at my eyes. He said, look, my problem with you, you are a civil servant, and civil servants find it difficult to be good presidents of NSC unless you get support. I said, no, my chairman is a lawyer, but he likes his staff to excel. So if I say I'm going for this, he will support me. So, I said, if that's the case, I told him I've just got promoted to assistant general manager. He said, if that's the case, you can be the next president after Baba Gana. Mind you, that time Baba Gana was not elected. Baba Gana was vice president. So I now told him, look, Baba Gana is not a deputy president. I said, look, let me tell you, those women cannot defeat Baba Gana. That's one I know. But the reason is that after Uyo, if you are able to scale through at Uyo, you come to Abuja, you are a resident in Abuja, you don't have problem. You will win. The next is Kaduna. After Kaduna, the election for the deputy president will be in Kano. And the history of Kano is Kano people never lose in Kano. So that one gave me the inspiration, gave me the courage to plan and come to Uyo and win the election. So luckily I came, I won the election with a margin of about 250 votes. Ishidi that was following me, I beat her with 250 votes. When we came to Abuja, Engineer Kinte followed me. I beat him with about 400 votes. Then we went to Kaduna again. I beat Clemodemo with another 300 votes. So I give glory to God. Then I thank the Nigerian engineers who have so much belief in me that they continue to vote for me en masse. I hope I will not disappoint you because I have finished my tenure now. I hope I've not disappointed you. If I have disappointed you, maybe your expectation was too high for me. And I'm here. So I am grateful.
Okay,
I am the only president. Okay, go ahead.
You have taken us to where I wanted to take us to next. And that is talking about your presidency. In 2022, 1st January 2022, officially you became the 33rd president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And then your tenure has been running. Today is the 30th day of October 2023.
Yes.
That means technically or mathematically, we have 2 months remaining
to go
to the end of your tenure as the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Yes.
Every engineer in this program will want to know or have some insight about your presidency, some of the high points of your presidency, and some of the things we are expecting from you in these remaining 2 months of your administration as the president.
Yes. Well, it is one of facts that when I came, before I was elected in Uyo, and I maintained it for my elections up to the deputy president, I had 3 items of the agenda. 1, we're going to encourage mentorship. 2, we're going to encourage industry academia relationship. Then the last one, we're going to automate the operations of NSE. These 3 were my areas of campaign, talking to people. All the manifestos, I hinged them on this consistently. And I'm sure the Nigerian engineers wanted these things. That's why they kept voting for me. Then, when Engineer Mokolu came in, he came in with the idea that, look, NSE should be involved in community engineering. And that was the direction of his government. And I was so much interested in that. And I have passion for it. Secondly, when Engineer Babagana came, even the technical, the lecture for the investiture was hinged on technical vocational education. It was also dear to my heart. Unfortunately, these are not my programs, but I was ready to click into it. Unfortunately, also, the owners couldn't do much on them. So when I came, I now took them and added them to my 3. In my speech during my investiture, I brought these 5, and I said we are going to concentrate on them. So now, what did I do? When we came, we now said, okay, community education. Branches are closer to communities. Branches should be involved in community work. 1, it's not every community is not cleaning the streets. That's not engineering. It must be an engineering problem to a community that the branch identifies, prefer engineering solution, which will involve the design, identification of the problem, designing the solution, implementing the solution, and maintaining the solution. And when you are doing this, you are going to engage young engineers. How small that project is, you are teaching them procedures of how to do their job. So you will carry the young engineers in that. So mentorship comes in. So when you do that, 1, we are getting value. 2, the community you are located is seeing engineering as a profession that can help them, is creating awareness for their children to study engineering, is making us to be friendly to the community. So we now made it that we came to council with a memo that any branch that is going to contest for group dynamics must have a community project to present that year. Let me tell you this, for those of you, for those who are not in Abuja, this year, last year, there were some community works by the 3 branches I know. Abuja, Maitama, and Buhari. Buhari was able to renovate a whole classroom block with the support of the Ministry of Works. Maitama branch and Abuja branch had one project. This year, I commissioned a motorized solar water supply in one community by Abuja branch. Then Maitama branch did two. Then I was called again to come and commission another one by my Abuja branch. So I feel happy when I see this competition going on. Wudil branch went to my ancestral home in Zango and installed security lights, street lights, solar street lights, with the help of the Ministry of the Rural Electrification Agency. They did it. It's a dark alley. Our parents have been finding it difficult to come out if there's no electricity. So you go there now, because our people are industrious. You see young men knitting, sewing under those slums. And people are praying, oh, these people who brought this thing, may God do this, may God do this for them. So with that, and I have seen some other branches doing those things. So any branch that has not done any community work will not be qualified for group dynamics. So it will be set aside. That is a prerequisite. So council gave that, and we are implementing it. So I'm happy it has come to stay. By the grace of God, we'll be seeing that after some years, we will take stock of all the community work we do. We have a compendium. Like, look, this is what NSE was able to do, and what are the solutions. So we also, on my own, before my investiture, myself and my friends, we identified some things. We came to here in Borno State. We did 2 solar PV supplies in 2 hospitals. One was a solar generator we put in the main hospital pediatric unit, where it is powering the incubators, and it has solved so much problem. Then we have done in another hospital. Then we have gone to Kebbi State. We have done another hospital there, another clinic. Then in Bayelsa State, we have done street lights. So we did that to demonstrate to the branches that, look, you should be doing this. And it is easy to get funding with that. If you come with the idea, the politicians, you can go to them. The corporate bodies, if they see, they have so much respect for NSE. Once you can present this, okay, all we need is funding. We are saving the cost of consulting, the cost of supervision. We're doing it ourselves. Then people will listen to you. You are not asking them to give you money. You're asking them to do something, and you put their logo, you put the logo of NSE that this was done by this and this. So for me, I took that idea from Engineer Adekunle Mokolu, past president, and we have practicalized it. The TVET, technical and vocational, we married it with the automation in the headquarters. That's why we came up with the innovation hub, the smart office. We have brought the smart office, we have brought the innovation hub, including training school. We have training, and as I'm talking to you now, we are equipping that training with some skills training in piping, in plumbing, in air conditioning and heating, with some modern training kits that we are buying from Germany at the discount of, I think it's about 40% they're giving us. We visited the place. One of the vice presidents of NSC sponsored the trip, and I went there and I saw it. We saw demonstration by the Association of Engineering Technicians. They have training schools like that. So we are bringing some of those rigs to do that. Also, Nigerian engineers have supported us. Engineer Kotun with his training school. He has a fire fighting, fire protection training modules that he's going to be doing in that. These are skills. So, and we are working with the NBTE, with the Korean Academy of Engineering to come up with how we are going to revive technical education. We also created award to anybody who is championing technical education, TVET. And we have given one to the governor of Bayelsa State, and we're giving another one during the conference to Engineer Professor Zulum. So we are encouraging TVET, and we are going to go to any length to make sure that this technical education is revived, because state government and federal government, they have run away from technical education. And we engineers were the ones suffering. You do your design, you don't have the skilled person to come and implement it.
Okay, Mr. President, let me ask you, what, if you are asked, what was your biggest challenge as the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers?
My biggest challenge is running the secretariat. The secretariat is supposed to be operationally run by the executive secretary. But lack of administrative know-how over time has made NSE to rely solely on the president. Sometimes the executive secretaries are not allowed to work by the president. The president feels he is alpha and omega of the society. But the first time, sorry, Ben, we went out.
No.
So we are in a group. So there is that psycho-fancy in NSE that you, president, you are alpha and omega. But the truth is, the system is made in such a way that you have to be democratic. Sometimes you have to take decision, not minding whatever happens, because it's a difficult decision to take. You have to take it. But for me, I found out I did not envisage the way the secretariat should be run, and that was my challenge. And I had to come back.
Talking about the running of the secretariat now, because the issue has always come up often. The last guest we had inside the arena was a past president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Vincent Ifeanyi.
Yeah.
And when he was addressing some issues relating to the running of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, he said that he visited, as the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the secretariat, not throughout his 2 years in office, not more than 7 times. That the whole activities of the secretariat was being done by the executive secretary. And I know that the concept of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, why we moved from the general secretary to the secretary general to the executive secretary, is to have somebody who directs the affairs of who implements the decisions of the councils on behalf of the society as the executive secretary. So now, relating it to what we have just said now, what is your take on that? Does the office of the executive secretary run the way it should run, it was conceived have been issued to run?
Well, I don't understand the conception it was, but since I came into NSE, I've been very close to executive secretaries. And the executive secretary that I saw that was able to perform perfectly well was Engineer Amshi. And I'm not surprised because he is an experienced civil servant to the position of the permanent secretary before he joined NSE. But council is also responsible because I don't know what was in operation before 2009. In 2009, there was the financial rule. And the financial rule also contains some procurement clauses. And believe you me, surprisingly, during Engineer Otis, there was plan to review the financial policy. And it was reviewed. During Engineer Babagana, the financial policy was not allowed to operate until when Engineer Babagana came to his last quarter in July. No, not last quarter. July, before 6 months towards the end of his tenure, when we agreed that we have to operate the new financial policy. Let me tell you, the financial policy was that there's going to be 4 tender committees. And I stand to be corrected by elders who are in-house. Prior to that year, if there was anything called council tender committee, if there was anything called management tender committee, if there was anything called operational tender committee, all we knew was executive tender committee, chaired by the deputy president, with 2 ESCO members, 1 vice president, 1 national ESCO as members. And the process they were doing was, okay, we have a bid, we have opened the bid, we have evaluated, we are recommending 3 people for the president to approve, which was very wrong. And the financial policy said the procurement section 6 of the procurement policy of the financial policy was done to reflect the principle of the Procurement Act. The principle of Procurement Act is transparency. That's the principle. Why is the transparency when you tell me as the president I should choose any one of the 3 you have chosen? That's not tender. That's recommendation committee. But tender committee awards, they are responsible for awarding. They're responsible for awarding. You as president, your job is to approve implementation. Period. You don't have anything to do with that as president. So when we came, we insisted on that. So towards the end of Engineer Babagana's time, we had difficulty in setting it. But we had one. Engineer Otis was the chairman. Some other person, myself as the deputy president, because I'm statutory member, some ESCO members, and some other council members. So we did that. So when we came during my tenure last year, council decided to make the tender committee of the hall of the council. To make it committee of the hall of the council. When it comes, it will come and take those things and approve. Once it is approved, the president is only to instruct implementation. And the ES does that. Unfortunately, the ES has been reduced to somebody answering yes, yes to the president. We kept saying, look.
Do you think that is the best thing for the society?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The ES has to be empowered. Let me tell you, that regulation, that policy was approved by council. And in that policy, ES cannot approve anything more than 200,000. So what sort of power are you giving ES? Everything goes to the president.
Is the ES answerable to the president or to the council?
He's answerable to both. He's answerable to the
what of a situation?
President is the chairman of council.
What of a situation where we had a situation just in the recent past of which you are aware, under the presidency, about 2 or 3 ES were fired in one administration. So by a president, not by the council. So
no, the president has no power to sack the ES. But you know, there are some things. Let me tell you, law is an ass.
Yeah.
The law is an ass. You see, there is a section of the MEMAT that says the president can act on behalf of council in matters of urgent of importance. That the president can act in consultation. It says in consultation with ESCO. Can act on behalf of council and come back to council for ratification of his action. So now the presidents use that option to say, okay, I take this action. But if you look at it properly, has he gone to ESCO? Has he gone to ESCO? Has he gotten the approval of the ESCO? It says consultation and approval of the ESCO. Has he gotten that? If he has not gotten it, then it is wrong. That is why when I took decision to sack the ES that was employed before me, I came to council to ratify. Council said, no, we are not ratifying. You must bring him back. And I had to bring him back because I know the law. I'm not going to be dictating to the council. It's the council that will dictate to me. You understand? So I agreed with the council. But when my immediate past president went to the press to cancel election, 2021 election, we have to come back to council because it is the president. I, as the president, I have to come back to council and seek for council approval of that action. And council rejected it, said no. He cannot do that because he acted on behalf of council. So we have to get the council to ratify. And council said no. So all I was trying to do since I came in is to give back to council its powers. Let the council know that their powers and is there in the MEMAT. And people should be reading the MEMAT. Members of council should be reading the MEMAT, especially branch chairman and divisional chairman. Some of them, they don't even know what they're sitting there for. You can imagine someone, a branch chairman, saying he's coming to council to stop past presidents from attending council meeting. Did he read his MEMAT? What's the composition of the council? Does he have right to stop what the MEMAT said? You see, so people should be reading. And the MEMAT, in fact, tomorrow we are going to send the MEMAT to members again via email let them be aware. We can be sending memos every week to members their emails so that members should check it and read. Let me give you an example. Even myself, when I read section 27 of the memo, is it 27 or 26? I can't remember well, on voting. I came to council. There was we called for votes. I raised my hand. I raised my hand immediately. Everybody raised his hand. I raised my hand. And somebody said, I cannot raise my hand. I said, no. Please, I'm ready for you. Please, IT, show us the section 26 of the memo. They showed it, and it says the presiding officer in any meeting will cast, in the case of tie, the presiding officer in any meeting will cast his vote in addition to his normal vote. In addition to his normal. So at the first instance, whether you are a presiding officer or not, you have rights in that meeting, provided you are qualified to vote. When after the counting of the votes, there is a tie, then you, presiding officer, you take side, you vote again. So that is reading the memo. There are so many things hidden in the memo that we don't read. So please, let me appeal to council members. Read your memo properly. If you like, print it and come with it, or put it on your phone. We'll be sending it to your email so that you'll be reading it. You'll be guided. Then the business rules, they are there, and all those things. So what
do you think, on a final note on NSE, what do you think is the way forward for the society? Looking at the society in the next 10 years.
The next 10 years, I think we had a strategic vision committee, and we have to reactivate that strategic vision committee. I maybe next president, she will have to look at it and have a vision committee, let that committee work and produce a vision in the next 10 years to have direction based on the inputs from members that will be the stakeholders will make, and move forward and make sure that, look, we have to run NSE as a corporate body. It has to be a corporate body. I have earned the anger of some people in NSE that I am a mother. I don't want to spend money. I don't want to do that. No, it is fiscal responsibility that I was worried about. Budget is there. If there is no money, we cannot spend the budget. But if there is money, we cannot overspend. If there is money, we cannot overspend. We must be within the limits of the budget. So I have had a situation whereby the budget was exhausted, but there was money. So things could not move. I refuse to release money. I refuse to make approvals because I don't have budget. I have exhausted the budget. I don't want to be accused of extra budgetary spendings. That is fiscal responsibility. We have to learn that one. So if we need to spend money, we have to come back and get approval from council. Unless and until it is necessary, and we follow the procedure of consulting the ESCO, and ESCO approves and the president acts. We do that. So what that made us to delay.
Do you have any regrets?
Yes.
Do you have any regrets as the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers?
Honestly, it's not regret, it's a surprise. It's a surprise to some extent of how some people view the seat or the office of the president of NSE. Because some of them, what I passed through is that I have lost friends because of the office I'm occupying. because they were expecting me to do some things which I didn't do. I am not happy I lost them, but I am not angry that I didn't do what they wanted me to do. I will not do it. So my regret is that they don't understand. And the unfortunate thing is they are likely not going to be in my shoes to understand later that, this is what this man is saying. Because you must be the president of NSE for you to feel what I'm feeling. And you may not even feel what I'm feeling. You may not pass through what I'm passing through now. Because some of my friends feel that, look, this guy, he has abandoned us. He was supposed to, they were expecting me to give them contracts. They're expecting me to put them in boards. They know the president of NSE can put somebody in the board of NMPC, in the board of NCDMB, in the boards. They come to me. And I ask them, look, me, I'm not aware of that. That's my regret. And I try to explain, but they will not understand. So, but apart from that, I am very happy. I know you will ask this question. I'm very happy I have served as NSE president up to this level, in the sense that I have learned so much on management. I've learned so much, and I'm grateful to God, then the Nigerian engineers who gave me the opportunity to serve. And I assure you, I will continue to serve NSE to the best of my ability at any time, at any capacity they want me to come and serve. They will give me either an assignment by the president, by the council, even by my branch, my division, then whatever I'm ready to do it.
Now, this is the general question that most Nigerian engineers normally ask. In fact, most times engineers are not happy when they see some things going on in the country, particularly as it affects the Nigerian engineers. They feel that the Nigerian Society of Engineers as a body does not advocate or champion the cause of engineers well, like their professional colleagues, the medical line, like other professions, that engineers are always undermined by government. You know, for many years, we've been clamoring for appointing an engineer as Minister of Work, Minister of this, until recently we got one. But you cannot do that in some certain quarters. And also things that concern engineers. Government does not take engineers seriously. So, and most engineers are not happy about that. They expect that it should be the job of the Nigerian Society of Engineers to speak for the engineers. So what is your take on that? Is the NSC doing enough to advocate for the welfare of engineers in Nigeria?
Ben, surprisingly, when Katsina State government appointed an engineer as the Commissioner of Health, none of us complained. And I'm sure you're hearing it like this today. And I hope that commissioner is listening to me. None of us said it is wrong. So why are we worried about those people that are put in those places? One, politics has its own way of doing things. If we are not bold enough, we don't take risk of being active in politics. When they're sharing the cake, it is people who have contributed in making the cake that will come to share. You that you have not done anything, you can't get anything. That is what politics is all about. So Well, I have had situation whereby I had CEOs who are engineers. I hope they are listening to me. They were wicked. They were wicked to engineers. I have served under wicked CEOs in NEPA, in TCN. They are engineers. They are listening to me. I don't want to call their names. So engineers are wicked to younger engineers. Senior engineers are wicked to younger engineers. We have had that. So how do you expect us to say we must put you there? When you go in there and you today, the federal government circular on enhanced entry points, it is those people who are in the let me say this today. I'm going to bust this one today. The what do you call it? CG of fire. Is it fire? Is it what do you call them? Federal Fire Service. He's an engineer. He's an engineer, but let him check himself. I have a petition with me against him. He's refusing to recognize engineers as engineers. He's saying they come with certain color, they cannot be. What do you use as their degree? Somebody had a mechanical engineering, PhD mechanical engineering. What is he? And he's an engineer. His deputy is an engineer. I called him because I checked the database. The database, that man, his email, his telephone number is not there. I couldn't contact him. I contacted his deputy. His deputy was telling me he's in somewhere. He's going to come back. He will call me. Up to today, that was the gubernatorial election. During gubernatorial election, he never called me again. And they are there maltreating young engineers. So if it is such engineers that we are going to fight for to be in such positions, I will not. I will not. We went to the Minister of Interior. We complained because it's one of our own. The person we're talking about is our own. I am doing this, I'm saying this because this platform, we're all engineers. That man is maltreating young engineers. And it's better, I'm sending this message to him. It's better for him to stop, or I will write to the president against him. He has to stop it. How do you expect young engineers to grow? How do you expect people to go and study engineering when you are maltreating them? So let me tell you, the issue here is we engineers are our own problems. I suffered in civil service. My promotion, I was not given promotion in TCN. When I complained to a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, he was telling me it's normal for me to stagnate for 7 years. Stagnation for 7 years. And I was never a dull engineer. I am challenging anybody in Nepal, anybody I served under, to come and tell me that I was lazy or I was not intelligent. I was in protection, control, and metering. P&M. And anybody, I challenge anybody who I worked with in TC, in NEC, to come and tell me that I don't know what I'm doing. But you keep subjecting engineers subjecting younger engineers. So I'm not happy. So that is why some people will think, okay, federal government did. NSE is not a trade union. NSE will follow gentleman's way to press for our case. We don't go to the pages of newspaper. When they killed our members, we tried by all means to make contacts. The Elan 4, is it the Elan 5? Then Donatus was killed in Enugu. And justify my comment that this is what happened to us. So let me tell you, we need to come out of our cocoons and participate in politics and get those positions. We have started. We are supporting people in politics. Only Makodi and Lafia branch came to ask for that support during the election. And I'm not for the Christmas to be go around to say, come, collect this money, I will give you this money. I don't know who's contesting. It is the branches that will come and tell me my member is contesting for so place and he's not owing, he's up to date. Okay, we give him the money that council has approved to give him. But only 2 branches came. And unfortunately for us, most of the people we supported did not win election. It's only Sule who won the election. And today, Nasarawa State has no engineer in the engineer. There are no commissioner is an engineer in Nasarawa State. Here in Borno State, they have about 7. The governor is an agric engineer. He has about 7 engineers in the cabinet. That's why Borno State is working. When Umahi was governor, his commissioner in charge of infrastructure was an engineer. That's just how he made a Borno State work. So please, we also need to, while the politicians are insisting that it is somebody who has been active with us that will give, we try to be active and let us get closer to politics and make sure that we get to those points. But we are working hard. Where they put non-engineer, you have seen what happened with the chairman, only chairman of FEMA. We are battling, we looked at the law also. When things happen, we look at the law. Like Naseni, we have written a letter, we have not dispatched the letter yet. But we looked at the law. The law said the president can appoint anybody who is into technology, not engineering. So where were we when that law was made? We should have insisted it should be an engineer, a professor, or a PhD holder, and all these things. All those things before they were doing, that you must have PhD before you become MD of Naseni Institute. It wasn't there in the law. It is not there in the law. So we look at the law. We don't want to look like fool. Engineers, please understand with us. We don't want to go to government and look like fools. You will not forgive us. You will not forgive us. We have to have
Mr. President,
evidence before we go.
All right, Mr. President. On a final note, after 31st of December 2023, what next?
Many things.
Precisely,
Many things.
What next? One
major thing.
Yes.
Inshallah, NIPS.
Yeah?
Yes, you heard me.
I didn't hear that.
Inshallah, NIPS.
NIPS is a study.
Yes.
Because I know there is life after NIPS. After NIPS, what is your plan?
Let me finish with that one now. Me, I take things one at a time.
Do you have any plan to go into politics?
No.
If you are given political appointment, will you say no?
I will say no.
Eh? I didn't hear you. Will you say no if you are given political appointment?
I will say no. I am not interested.
In political appointment?
No.
But you say you are going to be ready and available to the society to render service.
Society will not give me political appointment.
Is that not a service to the nation too?
The society has no political appointment to give me. NSC has no political appointment to give me.
Service to the nation.
I said NSE has no political appointment to give me. Are they a president?
All right, I think we are going to leave it there because I know some participants may have a similar question to ask so that we can open the floodgate of questions that will be coming in from the participants to you now in the next section, which is Corner Kick segment. Thank you once again, Mr. President, for being our guest inside the arena today. And the gate will now be opened, and we have our rule. If you have a question, you click the reaction button, click on raise hand, we will unmute you to ask your question. And after that, you mute yourself back and we continue. Question Uche Ujam. Please, you go straight to the question when you are unmuted.
Okay. Good evening, my very, very, very vibrant president. We've been so educated this evening, and I'm so thrilled. And I have to say congratulations to you. Yes.
Thank you, ma.
I know engineering profession cannot go without politics because every man is a political animal. But I'd like to also say that as engineers, we serve the society. And because we serve the society, every other profession is involved. There should be a way we should be protected, my president. Speaking from Enugu, where I was the chairman when we lost 5 learning engineers, there should be a way that we should be protected. It could be anywhere, could be anybody. And I'm still thinking that if there was in any case, I do realize that we should not be confrontational. But because we're and because we belong to the society, we should be able to dialogue to the satisfaction of both parties. Engineers must be protected. And if the president does not protect us, people will lose interest in the profession. But I know it's a very interesting profession. And #1 profession, in fact, if I'm allowed to say. Therefore, please change your mind in the way you're lifting us to become politicians in order to do our work or to be recognized. Let me stop it.
All right, ma.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I think, Mr. President, we take the next 2 people so that you can respond to the 3 questions. Godwin Iheburu.
Okay, my chairman, Abuja branch, Mr. President, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Engineer Godwin, past president, past chairman of Kigbe branch, sir.
Okay,
sir,
Godwin, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. My issue is that I noticed in the last 4 years, towards the end of past President Mokolu, the committees are no longer functioning. Most engineers interact, find solutions using committee platform. In the last, can I say 4 years, committees, the reform committees, we have members in committees, the input they make in engineering is almost 0. Please, I know you don't have much time, but you still be in council. Sir, please, can we activate our committees to work? Instead of doing this Zoom platform and giving the committee members peanuts, they are encouraged to make impact, physical impact, sir. I want you to react on that. Thank you, sir.
Engineer Dr. Robbie James Owivri.
Yeah, thank you, comrade. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening, Doctor.
I am Owivri, past national chairman. Nice.
You are welcome.
Thank you, my president. I just want to make an appeal to you over the last comment you made about you saying no if you are offered a political appointment. The reason is this. You will agree with me in the engineering space. There are a few people who are vocal when it comes to national issues pertaining to engineers. And it is not a question of flattering you now. Over the years, I have studied your antecedents as an individual. You are a man who is highly vocal and passionate about the things that you believe in. I strongly believe that we want people like you who will be able to take the engineer situation to the national frontier. So, my president, if for any reason you are offered a political appointment, please kindly take it to be able to champion our cause of the engineers through such medium. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robi. Let me start answering the question with you.
Okay.
You know, I just left civil service.
Yes, sir.
And anybody who interacted with me as an outsider or a client, because you come into an office in any government office, you are the client. Me, I consider everybody that comes to me as my customer. Okay. And I treat him well. And I treat them passionately and telling them the truth.
Yes, sir.
My experience is that over 70% of Nigerians don't want to hear the truth. That's my assessment in civil service. I have had situations where people bring dollars to me. I was involved in the process of licensing in the power sector. And if you don't pass through me, you cannot get your license. Okay. And people would like to game the situation. They would like to game the system. And they believe that every Nigerian can collect bribe. I have had somebody who brought dollars to me, and I rejected. And I told him, and he got what he wanted. I said, no, please take your money. I am paid here to serve you. You don't have to give me money. And I served the person. Today, I have goodwill. I have goodwill, but people will never like to work with me. There are people who yes, they see good in what I'm doing, but this guy will not do what we want. You understand? This guy will not do what we want. So, to the extent that they feel I'm a threat. When I was working in NEC, there are situations whereby committees would be formed to do tasks concerning my department. They will be told I should not be allowed to go near that committee. And it doesn't bother me. At the end, they will pack everything and bring it back to me with the debts. So my own understanding, then coming to this society. Yes, sir. Coming to this society, what I inherited in terms of money in the bank is not much. I have inherited debts. And I came to realize that people come close to you to help you wreck the treasury. That's all. As I'm talking to you today, we have put measures in NSE to manage the resources of NSE. And today, if I have a commitment of 400 million, I can do it. If there's anything council approves, 400 million, president pay, I will pay. I assure you this. I don't need anybody to pay for conference, to organize the conference. I can do that. I have saved money enough. Not that I'm blowing my trumpet, but it's because I look at this. Some of the staff, they don't like me. So for me, NSE is mini Nigeria. And if Nigeria is like NSE, please, please, please don't engage me in anything. Don't engage me in anything. I am not okay. I am not okay. I have told you, I have lost friends.
Yeah.
I have lost friends. Not that I want to lose them, but they don't understand my situation. They will want me to put them in every trip I'm going to make. They want me to put them in every committee. And I'm coming to Godwin with that committee issue. So the perception of NSE by members is different from what the forefathers have thought about.
All right.
I am only good, Ruby, if I involve you in activities of NSE, or I take you on a trip, or I send you on a trip. That's when I'm good. To initiate and build the smart office, where we have innovation hub, where young engineers will come and practice and put their hands on something to produce something, and we sell it, we commercialize it. That one is not work. Yeah, it's not what they want in NSC. That one is not what they want. I hope you understand. So what they want is when am I going to get? What am I going to get?
Which is the Nigerian mentality.
Yes. What am I going to get? You understand? So that is Nigeria for you. For me, I have enough of this. So if that is how Nigeria is, please don't put me anywhere. Allow me to go. Allow me to go. It's not palatable with me. Please, that's my own concern. That's why I say,
my president. I understand.
If I am given
somebody has to bring the change.
Yes, there are people who can fit in. I must tell you, there are people who can swallow all these things and continue. Yes, but for me, I have had enough. But there is no job you will get me in NSE like the president of NSE. You give me a small committee, I will chair the committee. As a member of the committee, I will do my best. And everybody knows me when I was in the conference planning committee. Just give me task, I will deliver it. So I have had enough of this. I'm not saying I'm not going to serve. In fact, let me tell you the offer I will give anybody. One, don't give me any job that I'll be responsible for procurement of anything or employment of anything. I don't want it. You can give me work to do. I can advise government, not as a special advisor. Not as a special advisor. Not as a special advisor. I don't want it.
You don't want the advice to be special.
No, not as a special advisor. Just if you want to hear my opinion on something, write to me. This is what we want to do. We want your advice. I am ready to serve Nigeria in that capacity. Don't charge. I'm not going to charge you money. I'm not going to charge you money. Yes, I'm not going to charge you money. But don't give me any name. Don't give me any name. Don't give me any office.
Any title.
I don't want it. Yes, I don't want it. It's service I want to do.
That's right.
Yes,
Anyway.
don't make me minister. Don't make me. I don't want it. Please, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want anything like that. But I can serve Nigeria. In fact, if you have committee, put me as a member, not chairman. Not chairman of any committee of federal government. I can be, but not chairman of that committee. I can be a member. I do my own. If I feel you are not doing the right thing, I walk away.
That's right.
I walk away. So that's my own stand now.
Okay, my president.
I'm not saying I'm not going to serve Nigeria. I'm serving. I will serve Nigeria, but not in those capacities where you will start sending me congratulatory message. Those congratulatory messages are telling you that we are coming.
You are right. You are right. You are right.
So please bear with me on that. Then Godwin, please, I want you to understand that the person you are talking about too was a committee man. I gained my popularity in NSC through committee service. But it is not the same committee you are serving now. As I told you, I used to travel from Bauchi to Lagos by road. I go to Lagos to attend committee meeting. The highest thing they give us was tea and cabin biscuit. No DTA, my dear, no transportation. We pay ourselves to go. Until recently, not up to 10 years, people were paid DTA for coming to committee meeting and transportation. All these things started almost 10 years. So, if you are going to attend meeting via Zoom, and you say we should pay you, where is your sacrifice? Where is the sacrifice? Where is the sacrifice? When I take night bus to Lagos, and come back, I left my work, left my family, passed through armed robbers, risked my life to attend meeting in Lagos. Past President Olorunfemi used to call me my runaway member because I was in his committee. And I never went for meeting because his meeting was like awkward. After some committee meetings, I go at a blow, attend some of those committee meetings, and his own was off the course. So I don't attend. There was a time I was in 7 committees of NSE. Everybody wants me to serve in this committee because I was active. I was active. And no kobo. Nobody pays me DTA. Now we're paying DTA. Everybody wants to be in a committee. Everybody. And I wonder which committee is not working. You say committees are not working. Which committee is not working? Is it the conference planning committee, board of trustees, board of fellows, membership committee, the committee that is there in Abuja now, investment committee, engineering games committee, ICT committee? Which committee is not working? As I'm talking to you now, we have exhausted over 40% of our budget for committees. This is only 3 months into the budget. Committees have been coming. So interaction. You can do interaction via virtual. Over 15 years ago, I was attending meeting in US via platform like this. I was attending. I was involved in the standardization process. And every week, I attend the meeting. And we discuss, we follow what we see there. So, my dear, we have to change the way we do things. Committee, serving in a committee, anybody you gave his name as a branch to present to that committee should be ready to sacrifice. As I'm talking to you now, we are bringing supplementary budget to council because we have exhausted budget because of the cost of air tickets. We plan with about 60,000 air tickets. Now it is 100,000. And we are paying people for that. Some people will pay them. We are not collecting tickets. We are not collecting a boarding pass. We pay you when you come. We pay you whether you come by road or you walk down. It's your own problem. Now some people are coming to say those in Abuja, we should pay them 15,000 naira. There's a proposal in ESCO now. We are discussing it. So for me, it's not because I'm the president now, but the reality is we need to make sure that our society is made buoyant, not because we want to be taking DTA. How many people are paying their dues? Do you know how we are raising funds? Not up to 15% of our members are paying their dues. I must tell you this. Dues in arrears are to the tune of 3 billion. $3 billion. And we came to council, we said, council, we want to collect half the dues so that we will have a clean slate. Council said, no. You are discouraging people to pay. So we are where we are. We are using ingenuity to raise funds to run the society. As I said before, today if council give me order to do a transaction of 400 million, I will comfortably do it. And I got less than 50 million when I came in. Less than 30 million, man. So you know we're trying our best. But you should also know, even the lobbying, even the protection of engineers, Engineer Dr. Ujam, even the protection of engineers, some of those things, you need money. You need funds to lobby. At least if you know chairman of a Senate committee, House committee is doing his birthday somewhere, you fly and go and say, hello, here is a card. Even if you are not buying anything, it's lobby. So you have to lobby your way. We're not sitting down. We've just employed a staff to be our liaison officer at the National Assembly. So we have to. So my respected members, it's true that the money for you to come for committee meetings is not enough. I have to find an ingenious way to save costs. if you are asking for physical, council has given directive that only 2 physical meetings per committee. And even the 2 physical meetings, I cannot fund it. What I am doing now is, if a committee applies for physical meeting, I will divide the members into 2. I say, okay, this physical meeting, half of the members will come. Next physical meeting, half of the members will come. So I have saved the cost of one extra physical meeting. So please bear with us. It will be a time when everything will be done online. You don't need to come. You don't need to come. We have been holding meetings in America, in Australia, without anybody seeing anybody. Only pictures like this.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. I think we have to call it a day here. Finally, we want to sincerely thank you, Mr. President, for making our time to be our guest inside the arena. We are able to catch you even on all through to Maiduguri, where you have gone to pay a visit to the governor of Borno State. And we are happy that we were able to make it today inside the arena, and it has been eventful. And we say a very big thank you from here, all the way from the city of the king, to say thank you to you for making it inside the arena. Now we are going to the next segment of the program, which is going to be the extra time. And the question is going to go this way. Please, you have to obey the rules. And before we do that, I have mentioned that the prize for this segment of the arena was sponsored by Engineer Bemigo. Engineer Bemigo, a serving vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, sponsored this prize. I don't know whether Engineer Bemigo is. Let me quickly search. Okay, he's not in the platform. So Engineer Bemigo sponsored the prize. We say a very big thank you to Engineer Bemigo for sponsoring this, and he has been very consistent in sponsoring most of the prizes for this program. We say thank you to him. I pray that God will continue to bless and provide for him. Now, the question goes this way. Listen, it's a technical question, and you have to get it the way we want it to be sent. And I know most of you are already prepared your answers to throw in immediately. Please, you must answer exactly what we want you to answer. When Mr. President was talking about his journey through the ranks of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, he did mention that when he lost the election, on his way in, he met 4 presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers who told him to continue to run. The question is this: give us the first name and last name of any of the 2. First name of any of the 4 and last name of any of the 4. First name only. So you have only 2 questions. First name, last name. Don't combine the 2 names together. First name of one of them, last name of one of them. Only. First name of one of them, last name of one of them. First name of one of them, last name of one of them. Thank you. Mr. President. Okay.
See, I'm laughing. I'm not getting anywhere. They have been Otis Ajibola.
Okay. Let's get the answers correctly, Mr. President, from you. The 4 presidents you talked about.
I have not seen anyone. First name, last name.
What is the correct answer so that we can go through to know who got it correctly? Okay, you have not seen the correct.
None of them got it.
Okay, let's leave it.
None of them got it.
Until we see the correct answer.
Yes. You said first name and last name.
Of any of them.
Okay, any 2 of them.
Let me check. Any 2 of them.
Hey, okay. Chineke.
Just as you said, I have not been able to.
Yes, I've not seen anyone.
see anyone too?
No.
I have not been able
How
to
many
see
times do you? How many
anyone.
minutes do you give for this?
I think the answers are, the questions are over now.
The questions are over.
Yeah, and from what I have seen, this is 1841. Anybody that sends question after Ujam will not be accepted.
After Ujam?
Yes.
Okay. So none of them
will not be accepted. So
nobody.
From now, we have gone through, none of them got it.
Nobody.
I
No.
Okay,
none of them. They are past president Pa Oyebolu, past president Olumiyiwa Ajibola, past president Olusegun Ajayi, past president Ife Akintunde.
Okay. Now, Mr. President, we are going to take the second question. In what year was Mr. President in class 5?
In what year?
Were you in class 5?
Well, Odima got it.
So we start from the first to sending correct question answer.
Yes.
What is your correct question, sir?
75. Answer. 1975.
1975.
Yes.
Was when you were in class 5.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have the first to get it was Odima Ifeanyi Chukwu.
Ifeanyi Chukwu. Yes.
Ifeanyi Chukwu Odima. Okay. Please, can you? Okay. I'm trying to get you to unmute your mic. Okay. Can you unmute your mic, please?
If I
have asked you to unmute. Can you unmute, please?
Yes, I've done that, sir. Good day, sir.
Congratulations, you have won yourself a very beautiful television. So you will pick the television on Friday. Yeah, so you pick it up on Friday from my office. Congratulations. And Mr. President, we say a very big thank you to you.
Sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And your story has been so inspirational. It really motivates me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to all our participants who participated in this program and our very senior engineers who joined us today. And we want to sincerely apologize for the technical hitch we encountered before the beginning of the program. We say a very big thank you. And on the 24th of November this year, we are going to be coming back inside the arena with another fantastic guest inside the arena. Your host, Engineer Ben O.C. Oko. It's my pleasure to sign out all the way from the city of London. Thank you and see you inside the arena next time. And God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.